Hey everybody, how we doing out there? Doc Severson here with Ready Set Crypto. We got Mav as
Hey
well
guys,
too.
how we doing?
Good afternoon, everybody. All right, so let's see, who do we got here? We got Nick from South Africa. We've got Team from Spain. We've got Joaquim, no sound. We've got Europe. Want to make sure everything's working for you guys. It looks like we are broadcasting at this point. Want to make sure you can hear everybody. Looks like it's working so far. Let us know if you can hear us and see us. My name's Doc. I'm up here in the upper left-hand corner. You got Mav, who is on
Hey
the
guys.
bigger screen. And let's see, we got the Great Crypto Rush from California. We got Jeremy. Hello out there. Fabian, how you doing? Rajith, how we doing? So wanted to welcome all of our Omnia customers on board. Hello, folks. We're doing a public one today, so we're inviting everybody out there. We're having a big old party. So we got a bunch of folks on board. Hello, everybody. Only the left channel. Only the left channel. Well, we'll see. Seriously?
Go stereo.
Yeah, let's see. Let me just check this really quick here. It is on stereo. We should be fine. So let us know if that's a problem. Otherwise, I'm going to continue going on here. Go stereo. Well, I'll tell you what, Mav, why don't you, I'll work on this, and why don't you pick up the ball here?
All right. So yeah, guys, we just wanted to get on with you and just kind of talk broadly about what's going on in the crypto markets, where we're kind of seeing things going. If you're not familiar with this channel or sort of the dynamic between Doc and I focus more on the fundamentals. I talk about what's going on with coins. I read white papers. For me, it's fun to talk about tokenomics and the larger vision of cryptocurrency and just where we're going as a space and what it's impacting and the legislation and all these things get me really excited. Whereas Doc talks about charts and the price and just how things are moving, he doesn't really care too much about the fundamentals. He's more about the technicals, and I think it's a nice dynamic between us because we get to focus on sort of the holistic spectrum of what crypto is touching, what we're should be looking at. It's kind of fun for us to go back and forth, and for me to say no, the fundamentals are more important. For him to say the technicals are important. But ultimately, at the end of the day, they are left hand, right hand, and it's all about giving you guys the best that we can. From the start, this channel's been focused, built upon just straight morals. Making sure that we're giving you the best we can every day. From the start, we never took any ICO money. This was always about education and the greater vision, and just direction of the space. And I believe that from the bottom of my heart that by doing things like this, by having a channel that focuses on education first, just trying to push the ball forward, that it will domino effect. It will lead to bigger, better things down the road. So it's an honor and a privilege to be able to do this every day, and I love giving you guys the best content we can. It's just so much fun. It really is. This is such a cool space. There's nothing quite like it. So I don't know, I've probably gone on too long, but good to see you guys.
Hey, can you check this microphone? Are you hearing how we doing? Is this in both stereo now on both sides?
It might be the inner machinations of Skype and its dastardly plan to never give us 100%.
Yeah, it is. It's a tiptoe. It's a tiptoe. Okay, so let's see. Well, what we wanted to do today was to give you kind of a little bit of an update from both sides of the house. Mav is going to talk to you more from the fundamental side. He's also got an interesting class he'd like to talk to you guys about. I usually focus on the markets themselves. Okay, so I'm getting 2 thumbs up now. What I did was I switched over to the Sennheiser. So
Cool. You
hallelujah.
guys, You guys are in for a treat.
Yeah, there we go. Sennheiser 416. Okay, so what I'm seeing, I guess, and I'm not going to bring over charts or anything like that right at this second, but what I'm seeing right now across the board on Bitcoin is like a lot of people have had questions. Is this the beginning of the bull market? Is the bear over? All of those questions, right? So first thing that I will say is nobody knows the future, least of all myself. All I can do is look at the charts and get a sense of probability as far as what's happening. There is a certain personality to a chart. There are tracks that it leaves, if you will. There are certain clues that it leaves, and volume is certainly one of those. Anytime we see a breakout on volume, that's a good thing. That means that there's a huge disagreement in the price and somebody won. And we can tell who won that battle a couple weeks ago. Now, will it stay up there? There's a lot of people that are predicting the price is going to get up to 6,000 and just collapse in a heap. That could happen. What I'm anticipating is, I guess what you call a scary higher low. A scary higher low. So what will happen is, at some point, we will see the selling kicking in again. Now, I don't know whether that's going to happen at 5,500 or it's going to go all the way up to 6,000 or 6,400. Nobody knows that, right? So all we can do is just look and watch the clues. The price levels that we're at right now, as long as the price stays above the 4,600 to 4,700 level, that's important for right now, because below there, and I've talked about this quite a bit lately on both public and through Omnia videos, is there is a bit of an air pocket in there caused by the volume profile. So if it falls through 4,600, it's going all the way down to 4,200, probably will find support there. Now we need that scary higher low. So whether it happens now or whether it happens at some point in the future, and it may very well be some point in the future when everybody gets complacent, when everybody kicks back and says, the bull is back, we don't have to worry about this thing anymore, that's when you have to be concerned with this, because complacency will kill the bull. And you've got to shake off the pikers. Now, I know that doesn't make sense. And I'm actually, quite honestly, I'm pissing off a lot of people in today's video that I posted, because I'm saying, don't go with the crowd. You've got to go against the crowd. If you want to be successful in the markets, you've got to think independently. If you go along with the crowd, you will get faded. You will get kneecapped in this market. And that happened to the shorts a couple of weeks ago. It will happen to the bulls at some point going forward. Trust me, it is a good thing. We want to see distribution coming into the market. We do. We want to see distribution coming into the market because you've got to establish the higher low. This is where the bears think that they've got the tiger by the tail again, and they're going to get squeezed out to the upside if we're in a positive market. So I'll take a look at the comments here. I'm not watching the comments for right now, but I'll get to those in a second. So anyway, that's kind of what I'm thinking. So as goes Bitcoin, so goes the rest of the market for right now, because it's still the big dog. It was the big dog years ago. It's still the big dog. Nobody has been able to knock it off the perch yet. So with that, Mav, over to you, and I'll look at the questions here.
Yeah, I think that brings up a really good point. And right now, for all intents and purposes, this is Bitcoin's market, and it's always been that. And we want to talk about sort of the direction that cryptocurrency is going in. And sometimes it scares people that we talk about a post-Bitcoin world or something like that. But I think there's always a role for something like a Bitcoin to play. I think there's always a role for competition, innovation through diversity of ideas. And the wonderful thing about blockchain in this space is that no one answer is correct. There's no one right way to do things. And in fact, we can build upon each other's ideas in a meaningful and cooperative way. So I think the next 10 years are going to be defined by our ability to sort of think beyond, but also intrinsically, what can we do with what we've already built, and how do we make these next steps? So that's why I get really excited talking about sort of the direction of the space and what comes next, because I think when we talk about a bull run, when we talk about resurgence or a capitulation event that leads to these higher highs or whatever. Ultimately, all I care about is what is driving that. Where are we going ultimately? Because the market can move up and down day to day, but I'm looking ahead and saying, okay, what is the real potential of this space? As far as I'm concerned, there's no such thing as a blockchain expert because the space has only been around for 10 years. But I think there is things we can extrapolate after 10 years of blockchain and say, okay, there's going to be these external factors at play. There's going to be these market forces at play. Just these things that we're moving towards, and yeah, that's what gets me jazzed up. I really do anticipate that there's going to be just so many different avenues and things that we're going to discuss even the next year or two. Just the great thing about cryptocurrency is that it is right at the tip of the spear in terms of the technological developments of the world. We are right in the middle of this new technological renaissance, as I call it. So, kind of roundabout way to say, I'm really excited to say or see what's going on with specifically STOs and DeFi. And this is why we've kind of shifted the broader focus of Ready Set Crypto to encompass these three pillars, as I like to call them. You've got crypto, you've got STOs, and you've got DeFi. And I think they all sort of play off of each other and support each other and just build this ecosystem up, this new token economy, if you will, in such a way that I just find extremely compelling. And with cryptocurrency, you have the future of money. With STOs, security tokens, digital securities, you have the future of investing. And with DeFi, decentralized finance, you have the future of finance. And how these three pillars interact, how we see overlap, and just how they help each other and push each other up. I think that's incredibly compelling and just really interesting stuff to talk about, because each of them affects a different facet of what we consider to be normal economics or just the way we think about conventions like money. But it pushes it further, and that's always been my favorite part about cryptocurrency, is that it's not just about what it can do in this day and age. It's about the ethos that it creates. It's about this innovation spirit that really pushes us to question or think about what comes next. What can we build? What can we do? That gets me so jazzed up. So we'll talk about DeFi and the overall decentralized finance space in a little bit here. But yeah, I think we're on the precipice of some really cool stuff. So I'm just so happy to be a part of the space.
That's cool. So I did get a couple of questions, some retorts from folks in the chat room that were talking. So one of the questions one of the comments that I get in a lot of my videos, because the stuff that I do on YouTube, the stuff I do in Omnia and through our premium newsletters is very trading oriented, because I'm into the small term trading, the intraday stuff. I'm into, just not sitting in assets for any particular length of time for some of my capital. For some other parts of my capital, those are very long-term plays. So there's a big difference between investing and trading. So if you're sitting out there going, look, I'm not interested in trading. I have a 10-year horizon for this stuff. And that's perfectly fine. That's great for you. Everybody's got a different timeline. Everybody's got a different, timeline during the day. Everybody's got different time availability. If you can go out there and make 5% in a day, then knock it out of the park. Do that kind of stuff, because that's possible to do. But if you want to just invest, then don't worry about anything I say about price levels. Just dollar cost average and, take this thing to the bank in 10 years from now. So don't worry about that. Now, the other question or the other comment that I see all the time is, well, look, technical analysis is bullshit because these markets are manipulated. And I see that comment all the time. And a lot of that comes from social media. And all these things get propagated through social media because somebody that's smart and important says that markets are manipulated. Let me tell you something here, guys. There is not one market, there is not one financial market that I can think of in my head right now that is not manipulated right now. Think of the US dollar. The US dollar is manipulated beyond belief right now through the Federal Reserve and the Treasury. You know, there's no stability there. It is manipulated. Every single financial market that's in the trillions of dollars, not billions, but trillions of dollars, is manipulated by those with deep pockets. What we've learned to do as retail traders along the way is to say, look, there is a food chain here. I don't care about the food chain. If I'm a remora, I don't care about the food chain. I'm not going to best a shark. I'm going to attach myself to a shark and I'm going to clean up after they've finished eating. And we're going to work in perfect harmony. And that's my response to manipulated markets. I really don't care. And all of this is just FUD. It's normally made by people that don't understand how markets work. They are all manipulated. Get used to it. This one is manipulated as well, too. And it's just part of the food chain. So with that, back to you, Mab.
You know, I always do find it kind of comical, really, that people seem to judge in finality the state of the crypto markets, the state of cryptocurrency, you know, what it represents, what it is. You know, these are temporary problems. These are solvable issues.
One last comment that I have on that is that, and then I'll shut up, is that I believe, I mean, I've been charting things for the last 20 years, and actually Bitcoin is one of the best TA-based charts that I've ever seen, period, ever. Yeah. So I believe TA works just fine when it comes to assets like Bitcoin that are heavy volume assets, not the Litecoins, not the shitcoins. Forget about those. Okay, back to you.
He's on a warpath today, guys. I
am. You gotta be.
Yeah, I think it is really interesting just to look at like what does Bitcoin represent in just the purest form as it relates to the markets. And yeah, I've heard that rhetoric before, that it's some of the purest charts out there. It's just, yes, there are, you know, there's wash trading, there's definitely market manipulation, there's fake volumes on exchanges, and then yeah, we've got our fair share of coins that don't deserve their market cap or faking their market cap or whatever. But to judge the entire industry and you know, just to say that, you know, this will never get better, this will always be the same, that's not the perspective I'm getting, especially from the people looking at the space who are going to have a big impact on its direction. Just last week, I went to both the Crypto Invest Summit and the Security Token Summit here in LA. And the takeaway I got from that was, yes, 2017 crypto is, for the most part, dead. The booth section at the Crypto Invest Summit, especially the second day, sort of a Scooby-Doo ghost town. You know, there's not too much going on. It was reminiscent of you know, earlier conferences I've been to, just a shadow of its former self. You have guys like Charlie Lee just running around, and you know, that's cool. And then Pomp was there too. You know, it was bad, and it was, you know, reaffirming that, you know, crypto's still alive and we're still doing stuff, even, you know, what is this, like 14, 15 months into a bear market cycle, you know, we're still working on stuff. But what was really convincing to me was watching what was talked about regarding digital securities, security tokens, and just, yeah, the direction that I believe DeFi represents. So both of those are big things to unpack, and really what I see is the bridge that links, you know, when we talk about the legacy financial system, and we want to talk about like the Fed and you know, just all these problems that are intrinsic to, you know, Swift and DTCC and Seed & Co. and all these things that we know we could have a better system. But it's pretty. There's a lot of history to that legacy financial system. So we're over here with cryptocurrency, and we're saying, yeah, we could build something better, and look at us go. And it's going to take some time, but stick with it. It's going to be very impactful. But unfortunately, these things just don't talk to each other very well. So that's why we need sort of a bridge or intermediary or really hybrids models to bridge that gap. And that's where I see the role of security tokens on the investing side and digital finance on the financial side, or the financial protocol side. That to me stuck out as the big takeaway from this past week. There was definitely some legitimate push or talking being done regarding digital securities, and the fact that yes, institutions, regulatory bodies in the United States specifically, where I live, it moves at a glacial pace, but that's with intent. If we're here, if the charter of the SEC is to protect investors ultimately, they're going to take a wait and see approach and watch other countries, what they're doing, be basically the guinea pigs, and to test things out and just approach things, and then they'll come along with their approach to what's ultimately going to be the direction, or how people view digital securities and cryptocurrency and et cetera going forward. As I talked about earlier this week about the Token Taxonomy Act, like these are important pushes, important directions that we're going in right now. And we have the chance within the next decade to really see the rhetoric just flip about cryptocurrency, and just, for it to become a much more accepted and, widespread thing. And I think that's incredibly exciting. But to get to that point, we have to prove that we have maturity in the markets. We have to prove that, there's substance here, that we can, give people what we've been hopefully working on, and for it to, actually benefit people's lives. And yeah, there's a lot that needs to be built out still, but I think we're getting close. It's really, talking to some of the people that, deal with the SEC, deal with just the regulatory bodies on a daily basis. We're talking not that long comparatively. These first 10 years, the cryptocurrency space was an experiment. It was we were testing the waters, and yeah, I think Bitcoin definitely dominated those first 10 years. The next 10 years are going to be much. It's going to be very different, but in a good way, I think. And I don't know. there's a lot to unpack there, but I think we are really on the cusp of something really great here. And I like I said earlier, it's part of an overall ethos of innovation and just a more egalitarian system. That's what I think we're ultimately working towards. Something that better represents the 2 billion unbanked people in the world. The sense of just. We should have a more fair and democratic system worldwide, and what that will do for society and humanity. I think we're just now seeing the very first pieces of that. So, anyways, gotta come down a little bit. I get going off on my rants, and I get a little too high level, but it's I think we're working on some really cool stuff here. So, anyways.
Well, think about some of the what we typically try to do is that as things change, we will kind of try to wrap a topic up that is of interest to a lot of people, and we will present it to people. So this is one of the big benefits of being an Omnia customer, is that they get all of this. They don't have to pay anything more for it, which is nice. So there was a question that was in the chat about the small account. So that's my next class. Yeah. So I just finished up the futures class. So the crypto futures class, I just finished that up. But that one is going to be in perpetuity, because as new vendors come into the space, so I'm waiting for Digitex to finally I'm waiting for the smoke to come out of the chimney in the square for them to announce, So we're hoping that the end of the month in April here, and then that's going to be a phenomenal trading platform to come out. So I'm immediately going to jump on that one and integrate that into the futures class. But the next class I'm doing here is the small account class. So this is one that our members have told us, like, could you focus on this, because everybody's got a small account. And there's absolutely a different way to trade a small account versus a larger account. So everybody's got a small account. I don't care who you are. You've got a small account of one type or another, and it needs to be traded differently. So that will be a second week of May. That's coming out. After that, let's see. There's a couple of other ones that I have here. Hold on a second here. Potential classes. Oh, yeah. Probably, I would say the July timeframe, I'm going to be doing a class on bots, and it's going to be focused around 3 commas. I will be doing a bot class. So I'm finally going to suck it up and get it done. I have not been a big proponent of bots to this point, because bots in a bear market will grind your account into microfibers, and it's no fun. But during a primary bull, if we are in a primary bull, and we'll find that out fairly soon here, a bot will be phenomenal for this, because the breakouts are happening. The breakout of Bitcoin happened at 12:30 in the morning where I live. That's useless to me unless I have an alarm firing off, blaring at a klaxon horn, waking me up to get out of bed to trade that, or setting up some kind of buy stop trade, which who knows what kind of fill you're going to get with something like that. That's the way it has to be done. So those are my 2 major classes coming up. And Mav, you've got one like right now, don't you?
Yeah. Guys, I think it should be clear that the way we see ourselves as educators, and what we're building with Ready to the Crypto is we're trying to become sort of like the Khan Academy of not just like crypto, but the investor of the new digital age, the token economy that I talk about. So when we cover classes, really the direction that we've been pushing our company in, over the last half of the year, is really to become more all-inclusive, and really to cover sort of broader topics that are kind of difficult to put into class. I'll admit, these big topics such as, I did security tokens in December, and that's not an easy topic to cover at any length of a class. So what we've done recently is we've turned our classes into more interactive experiences, and it's been extremely successful. So for example, my security tokens class, at this point, it's more of a group. It's an insider group. We meet every Sunday and we talk for an hour at least about digital securities and the direction they're in. They're going, and watching that industry come up and where the opportunities are. It's extremely exciting stuff. I love doing it every Sunday. I kind of get jazzed. I'm like, yeah, it's Sunday. But that's the same thing I want to do with DeFi, and that's why I've been working for the past couple months to really try to understand what DeFi is. And for those who don't know, and I'm using this weird word over and over again, DeFi is decentralized finance, and that's probably the most boring. Oh no, he's mirrored. Oops. I didn't catch it. Post notes.
I'm sorry, people that are asking questions in here, every time I type, the screen goes away, so that's why it flashes blue up there. I'm sorry, Char. Keep going.
No, it's okay.
So I'm writing in code to the audience.
Yeah, so DeFi, yeah. Right back in it. DeFi, or decentralized finance, again, is really seems like a boring topic. It seems like one of those things that like accountants get really excited about, which no offense to any accountants watching this stream, but like talking about things that like collateralized debt positions and loaning and just being able to do all these things in a decentralized sense. Yeah, it's a bit of a hard sell in terms of just intent. Like what's in it for me, and that's what I've kind of struggled with, or wanted to frame the DeFi experience around. is to say, okay, yeah, what is in it for people getting into this? What stands out to me about DeFi in terms of an individual investor? How should they look at something like this? And that's where I've had some fun kind of understanding the nature of the space. So DeFi, decentralized finance for an individual investor, really is, in my opinion, the key, or understanding DeFi is the key to kind of unlocking your financial freedom in this new digital economy, token economy that we're moving towards. Why I say that is because what I'm seeing built with decentralized finance is really just getting me excited. It's really cool stuff to see. When you have the ability to do decentralized lending, borrowing, have interest rates built into things like stable assets, you're able to basically replace the core functions, the core elements of retail banking in a series of online protocols that don't even have a token. Okay, so there's a lot we're building right now that I don't think a lot of people really understand the implications of. If we're able to replace retail banking with a couple of free protocols online that anybody with a smartphone has access to, we've really changed the game. And what I'm saying is that's happening today, right now. It's basically ready. It will take some time to iron out the kinks, of course, but I see the potential there. I see the promise. But again, getting back to what's in it for me. The really interesting thing about DeFi is that it gives you the tools. It's almost a toolbox. That's how I kind of want to look at DeFi. It's a toolbox of different ways to really fluidly move through the decentralized economy and find opportunities to say, hey, what if I could put up my Bitcoin, which I don't intend to sell, as collateral, receive a loan back in fiat if I wanted to, or more Bitcoin, and then turn around and have basically double my account, or and having Bitcoin as the collateral, which is a hopefully appreciating asset over time. That's huge. You're able to unlock the potential of your own portfolio in ways that just get me excited. Another strategy I see people employ a lot is when obviously the market's doing well, awesome. That's when you sell, of course. But what do you do with your capital? Of course, you can put back into Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever, but then you run the risk of it, crashing back down to 3,200 or whatever. So what people do is lock it up in stablecoins, and thankfully, stablecoins have come a long way in the past year. A year ago, it was 100% Tether, and today it's only 75. So I'd say that's market progress. But stablecoins are another aspect of DeFi, a very central aspect of DeFi, actually. Selling into stablecoins and then waiting for the market to go back down and then buying back into the Bitcoin, it's a great strategy. But what if I told you could also be earning interest while you're waiting for the market to go down to your buy point? You can do that with things like Compound and Dharma. That's really, really exciting stuff. I think that allows you to unlock potential in just economic possibilities of your own portfolio in ways that I'm just starting to see come alive. It's really cool stuff. So again, the motive, the potential for DeFi is not to get these like 100x gains or anything like that. It's to find these little passive income opportunities that if you get ahead of right now will be pretty huge in terms of their potential. You could get for example, a DAI, the stablecoin DAI, from a collateralized debt position, and then lend it out at a profit, and you could continue to rinse and repeat with that. You could do the same thing with Ethereum and Bitcoin, and as we see these different systems kind of grow up and integrate with each other, and we see shared liquidity between decentralized exchanges and all these other things and lots of other cryptocurrency jargon, but this is the basis. This is the application layer that's being built that I think is going to be the bridge to the legacy financial system. This is going to be how big institutions are going to approach the space and say, okay, I see what they're doing here. And for things like stablecoins to be acting solvently. I think that's, you know, these are all really important things that will ultimately help cryptocurrency. But it's important to recognize DeFi as its own ecosystem and to talk about it as such, because that gives us the focus to say, okay, what is the broad spectrum here of different applications? What can we do with this? And yeah, what's the future of this stuff?
Okay, so Caesar's got a question here.
Yeah.
Good segue. Caesar's got a question here. He's like, I don't get how we can just throw the 2,000 coins to trash and focus on DeFi and STOs.
No, that's not at all. I mean, like it's a good. I see the motivation behind the question, or and that's hopefully not what I'm painting here. What I'm painting is three separate pillars that support each other. So cryptocurrency is not going away, guys. I never intended to put that as the intention of why I talk about DeFi and STOs. In fact, as I was just talking about DeFi, it's going to support cryptocurrency. It's going to help cryptocurrency get to a much better place. It really was comical to me last year when we talked about things like the Bitcoin ETF and ICOs and things like that as being sort of the end all be all for cryptocurrency. And I always disagreed with that notion, because if we wait around for external forces and just these big institutions to come in and save us from ourselves and uplift cryptocurrency, and it's just not going to happen as far as I'm concerned, or it's not going to happen in the way that we think it should. There's a lot that can be created or destroyed. There's the great thing about cryptocurrency is that it's sort of this great equalizer. It's completely neutral. It's a tool. Okay, so it can be used for good. It can be used for bad. It can be corrupted in its ideals. What we intend, obviously, is a certain vision of that tool, a certain application, or being built out in a certain way. But others are obviously going to have a different perspective, and it's up to us to hold on to that. So no, I'm in no way advocating the demise of cryptocurrency. I do believe that many coins are useless in their functionality, and actually that's why I'm excited about watching a space like STOs, which helps to have a better model for investing and parking your capital. And then DeFi is better for focusing on the utility aspect. There will always be a place for utility tokens. I just always felt that it wasn't, certainly not for fundraising, and it was for really niche applications. And that's unfortunately the state of cryptocurrency right now is it's sort of in a transition period. We're still figuring all these things out. I'm not saying every coin is useless. I think there's a lot of interesting projects out there, but as it relates to the future of cryptocurrency, I see it as being this more holistic approach, and it's just going to benefit us in the long term. So again, not trying to disparage cryptocurrency, not trying to say, oh, it's dead or whatever. In fact, I've never been more excited about it. I think where we are right now, what I'm watching with the three pillars, and where I'm watching things like DeFi go, yeah, it's we're in a much better place than we were in 2017, despite what the market will tell you. I think we're about to see some really big things kick off. We're in this period right now, and we're kind of watching it in the market too. It's a snowflake that leads to a snowball, that leads to an avalanche, and that's where we are right now. Is we're watching this gain momentum, and it's taking time, obviously, but the larger vision here is what's key. So anyways, yeah, a long-winded response to that question, but it was good. I'm glad someone asked that.
Okay, so you've kicked off your DeFi class like a week and a half ago or so. Mm-hmm. Why don't you tell us about it and tell people how they can get involved with it? Yeah,
sure. So getting involved with it is as simple as going to readysetcrypto.com/DeFi, DEFI. And that's the class page, or that's how you get part of it. What you can also do is join our Omnia service, which I'll give you a hint here, is cheaper to sign up for than the class itself. and you get access to all of our class content, all of our past content, all of our future content. So specifically what I'm working on right now is, I just completed the STO course. I'm working on the DeFi course right now. And as I said, it's not going to be just a course. It's going to be a full encompassing, we're going to talk every week. It's going to link into digital securities and just the overall direction of the space. And, this stuff I just get really jazzed about. And so I'm really excited to launch this right now. And I think it's a natural thing to move into financial freedom and talk, broadly about that as the next course. I'm going to do that right after DeFi. So getting into the DeFi course, rather, if you're doing it through Omnia or just buying the standalone class, that will come with the financial freedom course when it comes out. That, to me, I think is a culmination of 3 really good topics that I think every crypto investor and trader should definitely be aware of right now. You don't have to go through what we're building, but I want to make sure that, I'm telling you, you need to pay attention to this. This is the direction.
Why don't you, can you share your screen and show people how to sign up for not only the DeFi, but then go ahead and walk through the member class page and show people what they get.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever done that before. And in fact, I'm excited to say we just redesigned our website a couple months ago. But we're still getting the kinks out. Obviously, website design is not it's not an exact science. But we are very, very excited to show off. I'll go back to the homepage here. Do it.
I'm gonna shrink myself. I'm gonna get a little shrunken head up in the left-hand corner. And by the way, Alfred, I cannot figure out how to mirror the image. I've tried everything to mirror my image so that I don't have a backwards ready set crypto. But maybe you've got a better suggestion. But I've been trying for the last year to do that.
Yeah, so this is our new homepage, and we're really excited to. We want to make sure that when people visit our site, they see our vision. We are very intent about sort of the broader vision for cryptocurrency and this space, and for the people that are attached to our service. I think our community is what's most important to us. So, like I said, we've never focused on ICO money. We've always been about education and empowering the individual. To that end, we definitely want to focus on knowledge and just from a daily perspective with our newsletter to Doc talks about what's going on in the market with his trade ideas, and then we've got a series of masterclasses which you can get to through here, the shop courses tab up here. And you can see we built out quite a catalog of different classes because there is a lot of different facets to cryptocurrency and the overall space. And we want to make sure that we're expressing that through what we're offering in our educational content. It's been a lot of work getting all this prepared, but I'm really excited to see that we're starting to have a really robust, broad range of topics. So it's I don't know, I'm really proud of what we've done. And then the premium home for our Omnia members is really all about a couple things. Our premium newsletter, which we put out 5 days a week, and it kind of covers broadly, like I said, what's going on in the market, but also these sort of opinion pieces that I write, and I've got a research team as well, and we go into in-depth analysis on different coins and just kind of a grab bag of topics, but whatever I feel is most important. We also got the premium classes. We've got webinars that we do. Doc does a trade school every Friday. We're really excited just to have all of this sort of in one area. It's definitely not something we're stopping on. We're going to pat ourselves on the back right now, but I'm thinking 3 steps ahead of what we need to get done and how we can better serve people. The other big piece of being an Omnia member is having access to our Discord, where we talk about all these different topics and what's going on with the markets every day, and just I'm really proud of the community that we've got there. It's really very different than many other communities I've seen in the crypto space. It's all about kind of sharing our collective knowledge. We just this week put out our portfolio, which is democratically based. So I'm not going to just tell you what you should invest in or et cetera. We collectively decided together, this is the most important thing. These are the different facets of the crypto space that we should be looking at and allocating a portfolio to. In a hypothetical sense, sure. But it's with the intention of, this is what we're building together. We're helping each other get through a space that is inherently, it's hard to trust anybody. That's the biggest thing to me. But it's also hard to understand. And to help people address both of those things, I think, is our charter when it comes down to it. So the way to access the class, as I said, is readysetcrypto.com/DeFi, and it'll take you right to the product page. If you have any questions, definitely reach out to us at support@ReadySetCrypto, just about the class or in general. But yeah, this is...
So your choice here is either to get the class itself, right? So you could just get into the class if that's all you want. You can get into the class. And don't we have a sale on that right now?
Yes. It should be $99.
Yeah. So
it's an optical illusion.
Yeah, inflation. My God, inflation finally kicked in. So you can either just buy the class itself if that's all you want to do, or you can join us for $79 a month and you can get access to everything that we do and everything that we build going forward.
Yeah, it's we're really proud to offer Omnia because we feel that that's sort of the direction we needed to go in. We felt that it wasn't right for us to continue to offer two separate services of a newsletter and classes, and we wanted to consolidate everything together and just give people the best we can every day. So I'm really excited to see the future of what we can build together. And like I said, we intend to be sort of the go-to place for not just cryptocurrency and education, but really education for the investor of the new digital age. That to me is the best thing we could possibly be working on right now. And to do it under the context of knowledge and trust, I think that it's awesome to be part of that. And I'm so glad to share it with you guys. So
that sounds like a great break point for any questions, so we can get everybody out of here by the top of the hour. So let us know if there's any questions. Yeah, Ty, thanks for the suggestion for printing my banner backwards. I think that's an excellent idea. That sounds very Irish. So
yeah.
So let us know if there's anything that you're asking. I think somebody was asking, Stay-at-Home Dad was asking about, what did they call it, a bump and run? My God, I've heard more new branded versions of technical patterns than I've ever heard lately. And it's almost because somebody wants to come up with something unique in terms of a pattern name just so they can get some buzz around it. But it's the same old thing, right? It's the same old thing. It's price action, it's trend, everything. That's the only thing that I focus on. So I don't even know what a bump and run is. I've never heard of that before in 22 years. So
Caesar's got a great question. What is the best way to find work in the overall crypto industry, even if you don't really have programmer experience? My favorite job board that is crypto related is crypto.jobs, and they've got a lot of. I hope that site's still around. I haven't checked in a while, but they've got a lot of different like administration type jobs and sales type jobs, and obviously it's not as populated as it was during 2017, but I think it does show that there's a lot to do in the crypto industry, and there's a lot that you can do. I think also looking around on LinkedIn is probably another really good bet. Just searching for job listings related to blockchain doesn't really get too much more complicated than that. But yeah, it's really about more of what you want to do. So if you want to be a part of a startup project that is building a platform or a protocol or whatever, there's certainly that opportunity. And if you want to be part of sort of the auxiliary services of the industry, if you want to be part of a marketing agency, if you want to be part of, I see a lot of these organizations that do events and just try to get people together and working collaboratively. There's many different ways that you can be a part of the cryptocurrency industry without having to be a programmer. I think that kind of gets lost in the noise, but the majority of the cryptocurrency industry, I feel, are people who don't have a programming background or experience. It's increasingly becoming more and more relevant in a digital age to know programming, or at least be dangerous in terms of code. But it's definitely not a prerequisite to be involved in this industry. So, let's see. I'll make sure this job board's still around if I'm talking about it. Yeah, cool. It's still around. Yeah, they got 1,300 blockchain jobs listed. So it's kind of cool.
Hey, Mav, could you do me a favor? If I type this into the chat room, the picture is going to go away.
Oh, yeah?
So go ahead and type in the link for the class, the Ready Set Crypto /DeFi for people.
It should be the first in the description. So yeah, there's just a bit.ly link for that.
Oh, so it's okay, cool.
Yeah, and we always list a bunch of different resources in our description. So just going to our website, we have a bunch of free educational content too. It's not just about what we're here to sell. We're here to provide education. That's what we do. And yeah, we will continue to do so. And we always wanted to make sure that when we build a service like this, that we're not screwing people over and we're not gouging people in terms of prices. What we offer is what we feel is fair for just the time it takes to research a big topic like DeFi, like STOs, like futures, like small accounts. And really, it's just a declaration of intent. If you're serious about learning more about these different topics, you want to be a part of a community, a small knit community, a small insider group that unfortunately the paywall is there for a reason.
Probably the most impressive thing that we have is not who are you talking to or who are you listening to here right now. The most impressive thing about our service is the community that's part of this. It's the collective brain that's out there that's got way more eyes and way more ears than we could possibly have by ourselves. So that's the biggest benefit that we found is folks that even ones that you're seeing on the chat tonight that are part of our Omnia crew are really what makes the service what it is. Yeah.
Guys, as you'll find in life, there's brick walls and there's there's obstacles and these things that seem kind of insurmountable, but they're there for a reason. They keep out people who don't want it bad enough. And furthermore, it's better to do it collectively as a team, and that's what we try to instill with our community. It's not a bunch of people sitting around shilling to each other. We have serious intent behind what we discuss on a daily basis. And I hope that's what I foster with this channel as well. I've always wanted to have interesting discussions on here and cover the topics that no one else is really talking about, or give it a perspective that no one else has. I think that's the really fun thing about Ready Set Crypto is we try to do things differently, but we also try to do it with the intent of always looking out for you first. So that's my promise to you, and that's what we'll continue to do. I've always felt that the crypto deserves this. We deserve to have people who are on a platform like this, on a pedestal or a soapbox or whatever, that are talking about the direction, the true intent, the vision of this space and where it's going, and have the best intentions in mind. Like I said, it's cryptocurrency, this space, this technology, it's a tool. And it's really about how we can use it for good or for bad, yet to be seen. But I'm here to say that we can do a lot of good. And I think we've just started. So it's really cool. So yeah, hopefully you're as excited as I am.
So our last question for today before we disappear and fly off into the evening is from Maverick T. So Maverick T is asking about what's the best exchange for somebody that's looking to do margin and futures trading from the U.S. The problem here is the from the U.S. part of it, because there are a pant load of great solutions that are out there, but unfortunately they will block you coming from the U.S., or if they don't do KYC, you have to use a VPN and you have to play games with that and hope that they don't confiscate your, shut your account down, things like that. Now, what will happen is we're going to have backed, and I forget the name of the TD Ameritrade one. Those will
ErisX.
Yeah. Those will be around this year. So if you can hold off, maybe what you can do is you can skirt around things for a little while, but I wouldn't do it with any size whatsoever. So, so just get used to build your strategy right now, and then wait for something that is approved for us Yanks. Later on this year, it will happen. It will happen. Both of those two will produce a solution. So,
yeah, that was I covered that in the newsletter yesterday. There's going to be a wave of derivative products coming. BitMEX just announced that they're going to be working towards Bitcoin bonds and like derivatives or options.
More crap that we can't trade. Terrific.
Yeah, but it's exciting stuff. Yeah. So cool, great question.
All right, everybody. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us, and make sure you join us in either the DeFi class or come on board with Omnia. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us for the last hour, and we are out of here.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate your time and being a subscriber and just part of this community. So yeah, it's always good. So take care, guys. See you next one. Cheers.